should we start this? Let's talk. When I say events and real estate, what comes to mind? Y'all can just butt in here.
Open house.
Open house.
Okay. Yeah.
Buyer workshop.
Ooh, buyer workshop. Yeah. What else?
Client appreciation, like photo shoots, tailgates.
Yes, these are great examples. Good job. So the things that you guys are listing, they sound like something that might be fun, right? Like, or present a different opportunity for a potential client. So my first year, I really just did things old school, and I did a lot of cold calling. I sat at my desk and didn't have a ton of, like, I wouldn't call it like fun. It wasn't exhilarating, sitting at my desk and working. And then starting last year, what I realized is that I really like to be in community with people. So I want to be with people, but I also understand that in order to get business, sometimes I have to provide value to others. And so I was thinking of ways that I could provide value. And I really just looked at my own family life. Like my wife loves getting family portraits done. And I thought to myself, well, I know some photographers. Why don't I just pair up what I already want to do? Like my wife ultimately wants some family photos. Well, why don't I get them? But why don't I parlay that into a business opportunity to help grow my database and to help give me an excuse to call people? How many of you like to call people and ask for business? Probably, no one's raising their hand.
Oh, sorry,
I'm
I can't see my.
assuming.
I do.
Okay, Casey. Well, that's good. That's a skill that you've got that not a lot of other people have, and that's why you're always getting over 100 contacts each week, which I greatly appreciate because it shows that you're putting the effort in. But I think for the most part, I think we could safely assume that most people don't love calling people, like cold calling, essentially asking people for business, and even really calling people and just having an awkward conversation saying, hey, I'm looking to increase my business. Who do you know that wants to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? Like that's the script that we've all heard before, but it can get pretty uncomfortable. Through events, you have the ability to call people and literally have a completely different conversation. I would say that most of my conversations with people have nothing to do with real estate, and yet they will lead to conversations about real estate. And when I think of events, it's really what it all comes down to is our goal with an event is to have an easy invite opportunity that makes it safe to call people, that gets you in front of people who know other people that can potentially in the future turn into business. Here's a good example. So 2-3 weeks ago, I had a fall family photo shoot. This was the second year that I've done this. My first year, I only had 15 families sign up. It was for an 1.5-hour time block, and we did 5-minute micro sessions. In a 5-minute micro session, the photographer can take, 15, 20 good pictures of a group of people, a couple. And then a turnaround time of about a month to get them the photos. When people started showing up for their photo time slot, they would inevitably ask me, "Hey, thank you so much for this. This is awesome. How's business going?" And so it would go to real estate, even though I was doing nothing real estate related. This was just me providing something cool for people. Everybody was so appreciative because they're getting value from the relationship that we've created. And so while I was there, a couple who I had invited from church, who I had no inclination that they were looking for homes, they said, "Hey, we need to buy a house. Can you help us?" Well, sure I can. And literally a month later, we closed on a house for them. And I more than I made more than 6 times, 7 times what it cost to put on the event in the span of that one, event. So I would have never known that they were looking to buy a house had they not showed up and talked about it with me. And I think that the only reason they went with me is because I was providing them with value. So let's flash forward to this year. I invited a whole bunch of people. We ended up having 30 couples, 25 to 30 couples sign up. One of the couples shows up. And again, I had no idea that they're even contemplating a real estate transaction. And lo and behold, they say, hey, Josh, talk to us about the market. So we start a conversation. And again, this isn't me like offering up my knowledge of real estate, like on a whim. This was them asking me. All I was doing was being there to kiss babies and shake hands, kind of like a politician, right? You show up to the event and you just try and be a positive light in somebody else's life. So they get on the conversation, and lo and behold, they want to buy and they want to sell a home. I never would have known this had they not showed up. So, at the end of the day, we do want to grow our business from these events. So a question was, what was the cost? What did the photographer provide to the attendees? I will say this, great question, Melody. My first year doing this last year, I ended up paying the photographer $500, and that was it. The only other cost was I bought some donuts, some apple cider, and some little decorations, some coffee to help feed the people. So all in, I was all in well under $600. And that turned into a $325,000 house, I want to say. So yeah, I made 10 times what I invested. This past year, 2-3 weeks ago, I did pay the photographer $1,000. So the whole event cost about $1,100 after food and treats and stuff. And I had, the reason for the doubling is that I had 2 photographers going at once to make it streamlined and simple for all the people who signed up. And I honestly could have whittled that number way down had I gone with a photographer who maybe was a little bit newer. Scratch people's backs. If you know somebody who's trying to break in and like get into the business of photographing people, say, hey, I got an avenue for you. Why don't you help me? And then I'll refer all these people to you to get prints and stuff. I honestly probably could have done it for next to free. But I knew the quality and I knew this person really well, and I knew she was going to do an awesome job. And so is what it is. But year one, I would definitely recommend, if you're going to consider doing an event, you got to play red light, green light. What can you afford? If you can't afford anything, well, then let's work with some vendors. Work with a title company or a lender to see if they can offset your costs a little bit.
What did the attendees get?
The attendees got at least two digital files that they can do with whatever they want.
Okay.
Additionally, they got to see me. So I try to be strategic in where I'm holding these things, and I want to make it family friendly. So with kids included, when you include the kids, you're going to get a lot more people to attend, and you're going to grow into that relationship, because I had my kids there. And so we were right across the street from a playground, and the kids would go play together while the adults just chummed it up a little bit. So yeah, at least two digital files they could do with whatever they want. And if you think about that, if you're going to go to a really professional photographer and get that's going to cost you a couple $100. And it's going to take a whole afternoon, most likely, because it's probably going to be like a 30-minute to an hour photo session. Whereas this was super simple. Chelsea was there. Chelsea, was it pretty quick and painless? Yeah, I got to meet her family, which was really nice. And so it's just really about relationship building. It's something that I enjoy doing anyways. If events aren't something that you can foresee yourself liking to do, then that's okay. But I just want to get throw the idea out there for those of you or those of us who do like to do these. Additionally, I want to go back to, so let's say we establish that we're going to hold an event like fall family photo shoot. what does the communication with folks look like in order to get people there? What's it look like to invite people, you think?
Usually it's an invite. I'm going to pick the certain people first on my list. So I'll email, or, if you want to do that first, or if you're doing something like that, personal calls. Phone calls is the best, because then it's personal. Hey, I was just thinking of you and your family. Sorry, I'm going to be doing the shoot. So I think that'd be the best thing. Why don't you guys come out, and you don't have to talk real estate. You just have them come out for this.
Yeah, so Chelsea said, make sure that they understand that this is geared at just being appreciation for you. And so I like what you said, Casey, is prioritizing who you're initially sending the invite to. So I was very strategic. We went through our VIPs first. I consider anyone a VIP who has closed a deal with me or who has referred me a deal that is closed. A VIP in my business world means I'm making money off of our relationship. And at the end of the day, that's kind of why we're doing this, right? We want to make this a career. So I reached out very first to anybody who I've done a deal with or who I consider a VIP. Now, if we're using Command, how can we tell if somebody's a VIP in our contacts?
Tagging them?
Tags.
Yeah, does everybody know? Is everybody at least well-versed enough to know what a tag is in Command? If not, if the answer to that is no, then please reach out to me one-on-one and we'll get you set up with somebody who can teach you the very basic fundamentals about that, because it helped me go down the list really quickly of who to invite first. So that initial contact was either a phone call or a direct text. We actually, thank God for Katie. Katie figured out how to work Calendly for me initially, and we had 2 time slots available for each 5-minute window, and it was super simple. Calendly can be done for free. So Calendly is basically it works with Google Calendar to fill time slots to where people can actually sign up for times. So we want to make this as easy as possible for folks and minimize the amount of back and forth that we had to do. So Calendly worked great. The initial conversation was just a text with the link or a phone call, followed by the link being sent. After that, I filmed a little video and I sent it to each VIP in an email. And if I hadn't initially heard from them, then I also sent them a text accompanied by the link. The key here is to hit people on different modes. So a phone call is different from an email, which is different from a text message, right? So why not hit them on all 3 planes? And so right then and there, I'm getting like 2 or 3 contacts with each of my VIPs, providing them value, not saying anything about real estate, and creating a comfortable area for them to come meet me at. If that doesn't work and I still haven't heard from them, then I let 2 days go by, and then I reached out one more time before I then opened it up to the next level. So if you think about your sphere of influence as ripples in a pond or like a bullseye, if we think of it as a bullseye, that center circle there is your closest of close people. We should probably gear more of our time towards our closest of close people than the people that we hardly know, right? Would you all agree?
Yes.
Because the people that are in that inner sphere, those are your, however many it is, maybe it's 50 closest VIPs. Those are the people you're going to rely on to send you business. They're your biggest fans, your biggest supporters. So I'm going to give them value first. Next, I went to my next ripple, which are people that I know, but I haven't necessarily done business with. So I just told you guys that the couple that showed up last year and the couple that showed up this year that said that they wanted to do business, those were not VIPs. I had never done business with them, didn't even know they were in the market. But because we opened it up to that second level, we were able to get some business out of it. And then after that, and same principle, I reach out with a text and then some video emails, video text, and if I need to, a phone call. And then from there, if we still haven't filled all our time slots, then I go to pretty much everyone. I sent out a mass email to all the folks through like our leads that we've generated. And I even went as far as to generate a command Facebook ad and send out to the public. We had a couple people interested, and of course they didn't show up, but I should have, in retrospect, probably opened it up a little bit earlier to more people to try and get people that I don't know. Because remember, at the end of the day, we are providing them value, and our goal is to get business out of it. So for those of you who are interested in, like, you've probably heard the term 36 touch. A 36 touch is just a way that you're going to keep in touch with your database in a given year. So Gary Keller has said 36 touches is what it's going to take for you to stay top of mind in your sphere's mind. For those of you who haven't been with me long, I say, I phrase it this way: you want to be Crest or Colgate in somebody's mind as it relates to real estate. Or put differently, you want to be Nike or Adidas to somebody who is thinking about real estate. You want to be in the top two. If you're in the top two in people's minds, then odds are when they go to call somebody, you're going to have a pretty good shot at getting their business. So in order to be Crest or Colgate, you have to stay in people's feeds. You have to stay on people's social media. You have to stay in their inbox. You have to stay in their cell phone. If you're not doing those things, guys, then you're not putting your best foot forward in order to get and grow your business. Am I making sense? Can I get an amen?
Yep.
Amen. All right. Let's talk about some other events ideas. Anyone have any good ideas for some things that you like to do that you could maybe foresee yourself holding an event around?
So Josh, I love to cook and host. So we kind of talked about this last week when I met with you. So small little dinner parties with close friends or maybe some acquaintances. Yeah, the options are there.
Oh, I love this idea.
Love
And
that.
you might have to edit that because COVID is running rampant apparently now. But in a normal time, I think that is what an awesome way to do business. And that's by just infusing your life with what you're already going to do with people. Love that idea. Like what would stop you from doing that? Like every Friday night, just have a standing event. And it's not like it's going to cost you any additional money, right? It's just going to cost you a couple extra bucks to cook a little bit of additional food, but it's not like you're going to have to hire a circus to come through and entertain people, because you probably already know how to do that. You can play board games or something like that. But I think if you were to do that, but invite 3 or 4 different people every single week, then over the course of the year, you've hit 100 of your closest of close friends and really established some really tight knit relationships. What a great idea. What other ideas do y'all have?
Well, prior to COVID, my sister owns Tupelo Donuts, and so I was going to actually do a house comparison because where her donut truck sits is right in her neighborhood. So I was going to do a CMA just for her neighborhood, using her house as an example, and see if I can get clients to, let me show you what your house is worth right now. Let me do a little, and then get in that real estate part of it. But literally, I'm been buying them a donut, just sitting there, and if they ask, and then I was going to do a gift card. But right now, obviously, sitting out in front of a donut truck during COVID, I got to wait a little while for that one. But yeah, it was just to try and target certain neighborhoods.
The quickest way to somebody's wallet is through their stomach, as you guys are apparently understanding here. So donuts, we got cooking for people. How else are we getting in people's bellies? Hold on one second. I've got a good idea here from Chelsea. Go ahead.
Well, hang on. Sorry. Like Casey said, that COVID is really messing everything up. But I've had this idea and I've had communication with the people that I want to work with. But timing, I'm not sure when it's going to work. But I have some acquaintances that recently opened a brewery, and I've been talking with them about doing drink tickets for workshops. If it's successful, doing like it quarterly. The first one being a first-time home buyers workshop, like an investors workshop, maybe even like a just interested in getting into real estate workshop. But providing them with a drink ticket, so they're getting some value as far as that is concerned, and then just the knowledge and literature, and then hopefully that gets my friends at the brewery some some business that they wouldn't have had otherwise.
Cool.
Love that. And so I think the moral of the story is here, guys, is we can scratch people's backs while they scratch ours as well. Look to your relationships that you have. Do you know somebody that owns a donut truck that can hook you up and help you save money? Do you know somebody who owns a brewery that you can bring business to them and they can then give business to us? It can really be something that's a win-win it's a win-win-win. It's a win for you. It's a win for the business you're pairing with, and it's a win for the people who are going to come and learn from you. I love that idea. I think seminars are an awesome opportunity. Home buyers, working with lenders to come speak. Like, you don't even have to be good at speaking in public. Have a lender come and speak to lending practices and what a first-time home buyer could expect. The lender will do that for free, and they'll probably pay for half of the event.
It's cool.
Just to like piggyback on what you were saying about getting that.
Yeah. What are some other ideas? Let's keep the ball rolling here. What do y'all like to do anyways?
I was going to start doing some group rides to try and invite different cyclist people. Since they generally, if they can afford a $5,000 bike, they can afford a decent house. And
I love
do
it,
social
man. And you're going to do it
distancing
anyways,
is-
right? You're going to ride anyways. How much would that cost you?
That literally nothing.
Yeah, maybe a 6-pack of beers to drink after you're done or something. Like,
Yeah. That's
low
basically-
hanging fruit, guys. This is easy and it's fun, right? Because you're already going to be doing it.
So, yeah.
Anybody else have any other ideas?
Well, like Chelsea was
Josh,
saying-
I recently, oh, go ahead. It's Casey.
Go ahead, Dawn.
No,
Casey.
go ahead, Dawn.
Josh, I recently built a pretty cool relationship with the family that opened Pure Bar up here on Polaris. And we were talking the other night over drinks, and they're going to do an event for their clients, which I happen to be one of, where they have different moms that have businesses. They're going to put out a table, and we're each going to do a raffle. So I thought I'd do like a ring or something and put my little sign up that I'm a realtor, and just a good way to collect. And they're going to do a big open house where they invite that clean juice and different things. They're doing a whole like wine, and they're also teaming up with the Bundt Cake place and doing a cute little event. So I thought that would be a fun way to just have an opportunity to get my name out there and also collect names and emails.
Awesome idea. So what's Pure Bar again? Is that a health place?
Yes, Josh, it's like a workout place.
So they're going to feed people Bundt cakes and
Bundt cakes and wine and clean
and have
juice.
job security, right? Great idea.
She's doing Bundt cakes and wine.
Yeah, so you're going to get a chance to meet a whole bunch of people that you've never met before. That's a different type of event, right? So that's more like prospecting,
Yeah.
but it's the best kind of prospecting, because odds are if you're doing a raffle, you're going to have to get people's contact information, right? And when you get
Yes.
everyone's contact information, where does that then go?
Yeah. Back to me. And if
Well,
anyone has a cool
no,
idea,
Hey, Miss Computer Nerd, where does it go in your
in
computer?
command.
There you go. It goes into command. And then we tag these people because maybe we create a custom tag and it says Pure Bar event, something like that, so that we know and we can remember where we met that person. And it gives us an easier way to converse in the future. Say, hey, John, I met you at that Pure Bar event and we kind of hit it off, wondering how's the family doing, you know?
That's good.
That's why tags are so important. That's why it's so important to get your data from these events. The events that myself and Brian were talking about, those might be already with people that we already know and have in our database.
Yeah.
But the real purpose of this is to grow our database. So getting those folks that we know and love are great, but we want them to even be able to invite other people as well.
Mm-hmm.
I love it, Dawn. Go do it. Casey, you were going to say something else.
So I'm partnering with my financial planner. He actually has CEs that he does. So we're doing with that. And then another person who's a title company where it's going to be a CE for real estate, but also we are going to do one for buyers, for people who are looking to, first time buyers, planning, doing their structure for the deal itself, making sure that they're financially set with, do they have a financial planner? Do they have, what's their goals? And then trying to figure out what they can afford. So they're going to even be a mortgage person possibly involved in it too.
Josh, I like that idea of a raffle, and I would go one step further and say we could use social media and do a virtual raffle.
You're about to
elaborate.
see if you're friends with me or Chelsea or Katie, we're about to run 12 days of Christmas giveaway. And we are going to be raffling away some stuff. And so it's going to provide an awesome opportunity for us to network with our people. So if the moral of the story, according to Gary Keller, is to get 36 touches in a year to the people that we know to stay top of mind. And each event, the way that I just described it, each event is getting a minimum of 4 or 5 touches within the span of a week. So the first touch is the text with the invite, and they respond, that's a touch. We call them the day before maybe to give them the specifics, that's a touch. We see them literally at the event, that's a touch. Then afterwards, we follow up by giving them that item of value or the photographs or whatever it may be, or just following up and saying, hey, had a great time, thanks so much for coming. That's another touch. So if the moral of the story for us to be successful realtors, to get as many touches as possible, at minimum 36, then would it be safe to assume that if I did a few events a year, I could probably get all 36 of my touches and never once have to ask somebody for real estate business, and yet still be top of mind in their minds when it comes to real estate? The answer is clearly yes. What I just shared my screen here. And this is what my team and I are talking about doing next year. I love having events. I like to be around people. And so we just started thinking about what could we do to drive contacts that could be a mixture of fun, a mixture of business, that could be cheap in most situations, because we do want to play red light, green light with our budget. We don't want to overspend because we are running a business here, but that ultimately could lead to more business. And to say, hey, if we got one buyer or one seller from each event that we held, that would be a minimum of 12, because we're trying to do something once a month here. So if we did 12 deals and the average commission, let's just say $6,000, that would be a pretty nice return on investment. Would you all agree?
Yes.
Answer yes.
Yes.
So here's some ideas that we're throwing around, and steal shamelessly if you want. We are not a closed-minded group. We want to be open with our great ideas. So I know I shared with some of you guys that in August, Katie and I, we did a bold 100, a reverse bold 100. A reverse bold 100 is when you get 100 people to call you. So we did a giveaway. We communicated so much the 10 days prior to that giveaway that we probably had 10 contacts with people. Just calling them, emailing them, texting them, putting it on social media. So much interaction was driven, and we ended up having 115 people call us. And I want to say we ended up with like the number of leads that we got was in the teens, because if you gave us more leads, if you gave us a lead or a referral, you got more entries into the giveaway. We gave away a laptop, a fire pit, some Topgolf, and some swag. So what's that? And earbuds too, yeah. Another thing we're thinking of is, like, think of the holidays that are already going to be existing. So you're already going to be celebrating stuff. So in February, that's Valentine's Day. Let's make some sensual scented candles, shall we? In March, what's the best holiday of the year?
4th of July.
Christmas.
No, the best holiday is clearly St. Patrick's Day, guys. So why not pair with a local bar or something to give drink tickets out? So it's funny who you know and things that pop up. So I was talking with my coach. I am in coaching every single week. I was talking with my coach about this, and she said, hold on, you want to do this in Dublin? Because I was saying Dublin has a big Irish following. I know somebody who owns Yogi's in Dublin, and Yogi's is a bar. And so why not pair with that person and maybe get the hookup, right? Save money, live better. In April, we got Easter. Why not do a family Easter egg hunt? That can be done pretty cheap, right? In May, Mother's Day. June, Father's Day. July, what about a movie night? Something like on a projector in your backyard or at a park or something. It doesn't have to be you renting out the whole facility. I will say this, I attended an awesome panel discussion, I guess, with a humongous mega agent in Indianapolis. This was last year. And he talked about how he rents out a movie theater every year, and it costs like, I don't know, probably 10 grand or so. I'm not in for that yet. Maybe next year I'll spend 10 grand on an event, but like, why not just do something fun and casual in your backyard? Like, that sounds more fun to me anyways. In August, we got back to school. So why not do a give back where we stuff book bags? September, let's do another bold 100. That's fun. October, fall family photos, or doing even like a fall festival. So what if you paired with a local farm, and maybe it was their day off or whatever, and you said, hey, we'll give you we'll give you $1,000 or something. And then there's some other stuff here. What we're trying to do, guys, is have a plan, okay? Because if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. You like that? My boss at Walmart always used to tell me that. So if you're failing to plan, then you're planning to fail. That goes for us here in this industry, right? So we should be planning out right now what our goals are for next year. We talked a couple weeks ago about a 135. We talked a week before that about how to calculate how many appointments you need each week to get to your goals financially. And now we're talking about events, and we're talking about lining out your year so that you know, as the business owner of Brian Ambrosio Real Estate Inc., or Casey Cornell Real Estate, you guys know what to plan for and what to budget for and how to save money in reserves so that you can afford that giveaway you're going to do in October next year. It just allows you to have the roadmap to success right in front of you. Am I making sense? So write it down. So, Dana, if you were going to do a giveaway or raffle or something on social media, like you're saying, when is that going to be? And then not just when is it going to be, but also writing down what are my steps going to look like to get the most exposure possible for this event. You want everyone and their mama to know that you're holding this event. Why? Because you want them to come to future events as well. You want to be known as the realtor who has fun with their job, who people are getting free stuff from, right? Like if I know I'm gonna get free stuff by hanging around with Joe Schmo, I'm gonna go hang out with Joe Schmo because he's hooking me up. And then after the event, if somebody had said they were gonna be there, you should probably follow up and say, hey, Joe, I noticed that you had RSVP, but you never showed up. And I just wanted to say that we missed you. And I wanted to make sure everything was okay. You all right? That's another touch, right? And it shows that you care. And odds are you're creating FOMO through all your social media posts that you've had during the events and stuff. And basically what FOMO is fear of missing out. And what that means is that the people who didn't come, they're going to want to come to the next event because they realize that Joe Schmo was giving out all this free stuff and I didn't get any of it. So next time I want to get this free stuff. Think about who your clientele is. Think about who your major, if there was a theme to your database. So for me, it's a lot of young, like families. So I should probably do some events that cater to young families. If you're a youngster, Michael, for instance, most of your events should probably be catered towards younger dudes or younger, maybe college age people. Do what you're good at. Do what you're comfortable with. Keith, you probably have a pretty large church network. Keith is preacher of the good word, and I'm sure that you can incorporate that database into some events. As I'm saying these things, are your wheels turning? Hopefully on maybe some events that we could be holding next year that could really be fun, that could be low cost, or you could defray some of those costs by pairing with your vendors or the people that you already know and love.
Mm-hmm.
There's this theory of reciprocity. I've said this multiple times. Theory of reciprocity. When you give something to somebody, they want to give you something. They feel indebted, right? It's just human nature. So if I give you free family photos, or if I give you a free laptop, if I give you a free night at the movies, if I give you a free drink, odds are you're gonna at least hook me up with a free drink. Or even better, you're gonna hook me up with a referral when your buddy at work says, hey, I'm looking to buy a house. Oh, I know a guy. And man, is he fun. And he gives me free stuff. Why don't you come to this next event? Actually, he's holding one, he holds one every month. And he's already sent me the calendar of events for this year. And here's what this next month is. You got people out there preaching for you because you've already done your planning on the front end. That's why I plan to send our itinerary for the month out, or for the year, out to all of our VIPs so that they can be our army out there doing our good work, spreading our good word. Does that sound like a good way to get business?
Mm-hmm.
By the way, I should also say this, that mega agent in Indianapolis that taught us about his events and his movie nights, he doesn't cold call anybody. He doesn't spend hours on the phones. He just gets referrals, and he's been doing it for a while. I'll give him that. Maybe he doesn't have to anymore, but he's just doing what he likes to do and what he's going to have fun doing anyways. And he's building a humongous business out of it. My coach was telling me about another agent who held 88 events last year. I would assume that they're not all like, big productions. Some of them could just be a little giveaway of a trinket here or there, whatever. I don't know. This is the part that I get most excited about in this business because I really enjoy doing this stuff. Again, if this isn't for you, then that's cool. Join our other calls that we have. We'll teach you different ways of growing your business, but this can be fun. Does anybody have any questions while we're talking about events?
I've got a question. So with your VIPs, are you telling them up front that they can bring a friend along to the events?
That is a great question. And to the photos, I did not, and I probably should have. And that's a correction of errors for next time, because I had my eyes set on filling up every time slot. And so I really wanted to cater to the people who I knew first.
Mm-hmm.
And I never at any point reached out to the people who already had RSVP'd to ask them to invite other people.
Gotcha.
But like the reverse bold 100 that we did, I sent that out to everyone. And we had several people who were friends of friends call in and put their name in. And one person who I hadn't talked to in forever gave me the name of like 5 people that had home interest because he really wanted to win something. And he ended up winning something. Great question. Yeah, open it up to as many people as possible, because you never know who's going to come that needs something. Now, I'll also say this: don't be silly. Like when people come and like check in or whatever, make sure you've got a good idea for how to check them in and get their contact information, especially if like your buddy John is bringing a friend. You probably don't know John's friend, and you're not going to remember his name afterwards unless you get it down on paper or in like an app or something. But also don't hesitate to have some business cards out. Don't hesitate to try to promote business by saying, hey, you get more entries if you refer me some business. Don't hesitate to ask people point blank when they're checking in. Have a line on there that says, who do you know that needs to buy or sell real estate? You're going to give them plenty of free stuff. They should at least entertain that question.
Josh,
Yes.
the Bold 100, is that like a KW concept?
Bold is a KW concept, and Bold 100 is a KW concept. If you get a chance to attend Bold, Bold is an acronym that stands for Business Objective, a Life by Design, meaning you control your own destiny. It teaches you mindset. It teaches you best practices. It's a great class. Next time it's held, I highly encourage y'all to attend. It's normally like $99. It's super worth your time.
Is there somewhere that I could get more
perspective,
information on that Bold 100 concept in terms of getting people to call you?
Yeah, the reverse Bold 100 has been thrown out there, but I never knew how to approach it. And so I stole shamelessly from an agent that I had seen doing it at a high level. And it turned out that we had great planning in place. We had great turnout, and the end of the game, we got some referrals. So it was definitely well worth it. I'm happy to share that playbook with anyone. Basically, Katie and I came up with it at the time and made the most out of it. If ever y'all have any questions, comments, concerns about events, I would love to help you out, because I have a passion for it. Well, guys, that is it for our hour. I thank you all for taking some time out of your day. Hopefully you walk away with some inspiration to go start plotting your year out next year, and to really get some good business things going. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you all have my cell phone number. Feel free to reach out. Talk to y'all later.
Thanks, Josh.
Thanks, Josh. See ya.
Thank you.
Bye.